Yes, guys, this is Nearly Last and welcome. In this video, what we're going to be doing is another stealth class setup video, and this time, guys, we're going to be focusing around the XR-2. Now, in this particular class setup, it does work quite well, but I would suggest a different kind of playing style, a different kind of approach with it, is that you definitely want to be trying to keep people off at a little bit of a distance. Just try and use this kind of class setup just to sneak around the map and just pick people off here and there. You don't want to get too aggressive with it because you will probably lose a few too many gunfights along the way. So for me personally, sneaking around the outside of the map, just picking people off here and there is definitely going to suit this kind of class straight away. So let's have a look at the actual attachments that we're going to be running with. We are going to be going with suppressor. Obviously, this is just going to be keeping us off the mini map, all part of the old stealth class setup. Then we're going to be going with long barrel. Now, I don't normally stick long barrel on with some of the ARs due to the fact that the range is pretty good, but with this particular gun, the range is not as good as some of the other ARs. And what I did find straight away is that, especially with the suppressor, that's going to take a bit more range off, and I found it really lacking. I really did. It just did not quite work out because we're going to be trying to pick people off maybe at certain distances. I found it's taking too many bursts and I was just cycling through the bullets far too quickly. So for me personally, I definitely stick on long barrel with the XR2 with a suppressor. Then we're going to be going on with the next one, and that is going to be quick draw. Now, if we get caught up into closer areas, we definitely want to be making sure we're getting this weapon up as fast as we possibly can. Trying to get into ADS so we can down the enemy straight away, so we're not getting caught out too easily. Then we're going to be moving on to the next one, which is rapid fire. Now, I definitely would suggest sticking this one on with the XR2 as well, because it's going to make the burst out a little bit faster, so we're going to cycle through those shots a little bit quicker, so that will certainly help out when we get into the closer quarters. I mean, if we come up against like a VMP or something like that, we can move to the side, strafe just out the way. It's just going to give you that greater chance of actually putting the enemy down. That, in regards, is all the actual attachments. Now, as you're going to notice, there's no grip. I don't personally think that this, as a burst weapon, is going to need any grip whatsoever. Since it's been actually patched in the last few patches, it is pretty much on point all the time. Then obviously there's going to be no stock because we're not going to be playing aggressive. I don't feel the need for stock on this particular class whatsoever. I tend to leave that alone. We're not going to be getting too confident, too aggressive, trying to push the enemy spawns too much, so we don't need to be worried about strafing in ADS too often. Then obviously, as you can see, when using the iron sights, I definitely would suggest with this class setup is just getting used to these iron sights. I know they're not the greatest, but they're not that bad, and in regards to that, it's going to save us an extra slot to actually stick a perk in when we're running with all these kinds of attachments. Then with the actual perks, once again, we're going to be going with Ghost, all part of the stealth class setup video. Then we're going to be keeping off the mini-map with this. Then we're going to be going with fast hands. Now obviously that's going to complement the quick draw, get this weapon up as fast as we possibly can. Then we're going to be moving on to blast suppressor. Now, depending on what type of map that you actually want to play on, you can swap this out for dead silence if you wanted to. But with breach, there's a lot of jumping, a lot of moving around and everything else with your boosting. So for me personally, it's definitely the better option for that. So depending on your type of playing style, if you like jumping around, trying to get from point to point, I would highly suggest sticking on blast suppressor, just trying to keep yourself off the mini map, because obviously with awareness not working the greatest, it might be a lot of better different approach to actually go down, but otherwise you can swap it out for dead silence if you so wish. But coming up on your screen now, guys, is the actual class setup, so make sure you pause it and go and stick this in your creator class. Like I say straight away, for me personally, don't get too aggressive with this class setup. If you do, you can get caught out a little bit too much. So what I do is use it to the best of his ability, sneak around the map if you use a blast suppressor, pick people off here and there because it is highly accurate. You'll still put people down, and definitely guys, stick that long barrel on with the suppressor, because this gun really will be lacking with a suppressor otherwise. And as you can see, with the specialist that I actually went with was active camo Spectra, just to be as stealthy as possible, and I must admit that works extremely well straight away. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this stealth class setup video. If you haven't checked out any of my others, I've got plenty of other ones and plenty of other class setups along with different kinds of videos that are on my channel, so make sure you're subscribing and go and checking those ones out, guys. And guys, if you could smash that like button to support me, it'd be even better. This is Nearly Last, and I'll catch you later.